In this video, I want to discuss how I used manifestation to overcome 3 to 4 years of anxiety that I was suffering from. My name's Andy and I used to, like I just said, have anxiety for 3 to 4 years until I found a way to recover naturally, because when I had an anxiety disorder, I don't even like that term, I was told that I can only manage it by the doctor and that I would have this for the rest of my life. In that moment, I made the decision not to follow this advice. And I also did try some therapy and counseling, but that just scared me even more. Now, this is only educational, informational advice. Like, I'm not saying all of that is bad. I'm just sharing my experience, okay? And I have heard this from many other people as well. So it's unfortunate. Seems to be not just a one-off thing, okay? And so what I discovered is that I need to fix this myself, because the solution out there is not satisfying. And so what I did is I proceeded to read hundreds of books, literally devouring self-help information, devouring podcasts. I literally changed the way completely I operate, And I just got so many new ideas and so many new insights just from reading, you see? Like, I feel like in kind of education system, we almost hate reading because we're given like these books to read that we're truly not interested in. And then we develop an aversion towards reading. It was hard for me. I was never the type of person to study books and read. I hated reading. I was never doing my homework in school. And I just didn't like all this stuff, And then I discovered reading. I was like, wow. I felt so inspired sometimes reading, even when I had anxiety, that I was like, shit, reading is so good. So I just got into reading, because with anxiety, what you want to do is you want to take your mind off of the anxiety. What you focus on, you give power, right? So if you're just focused on the anxiety constantly, you're literally manifesting anxiety. Anxiety remains because of our excessive focus on the anxiety itself. So let's say you have a symptom of anxiety. Let's say, you know the list of symptoms by now. It's hundreds of anxiety symptoms. Let's take a common one, the example of heart palpitations. You have heart palpitations, suddenly you're freaking out. Am I getting a heart attack? Do I have this health issue? Is this me now getting this problem, like health anxiety? It's just like rampant. The mind goes crazy, the symptom. And then it's like overly analyzing it. It's like, oh, what if on a Google symptom? And then this is a form of resistance. And like Carl Jung said, what you resist persists and may even grow in size. So Paul David, in his legendary book At Last Alive, now it's been a long time since I read it, but he said, most people with anxiety, it's like they're beating the broken arm or leg and wondering why it doesn't get better. They're like obsessed. So like the symptoms are so, oh yeah, the anxiety, and that just makes anxiety worse, to be honest. And it just perpetuates the condition. So literally what you have to do is you have to stop like focusing so much on the anxiety, and freaking yourself out. And yeah, there's just some people, a dog. And then eventually once you do that, then, hello.
Hallo.
Yeah, fine.
Ah, nee, die mag eigentlich Handy nicht so.
Okay. Apparently the dog, she said, I translate, the dog doesn't like hands, Anyway, like I always get distracted when people walk past, man. I find it kind of weird to make videos in public, but I guess that's some fear I can transcend. So anyway, where were we? Yeah, so focus is power. We're just focusing too much on anxiety, and that's what perpetuates the condition, So when you have anxiety, this video is actually inspired by a conversation I had on IG with a fellow anxiety sufferer who said, what about manifestation and anxiety? Can I manifest whilst these symptoms are there? How does that work with acceptance? We also briefly discussed Letting Go by David Hawkins, which is all about letting go. And then he asked me, like, do I have to just sit there and let go for hours? And like, no, man, that's actually a hindrance, So what you want to do, acceptance with anxiety, when it arises, don't fight it, don't Google it, don't resist it. Just allow it to be there, but keep yourself busy. Allow it to be there in the background, and do live your life as though you were anxiety free. And you can use the principles of manifestation. And in my opinion, should use, because I did that as well. So my method of anxiety recovery, or my approach, involves also manifestation, morning routines. Waking up and not checking your phone. Waking up, leaving your phone on airplane mode, and instead doing a morning routine. And you want to start off with some meditation, where you're just focusing on your breath going in and out. And you're just watching the breath. what will then happen is you will actually get lost in your thoughts, you know. You'll be in your thoughts thinking, blah, 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 blah. And then you realize, oh shit, I'm in my thoughts, I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. Then once that awareness kicks in, you're literally just bringing your awareness back onto your breath, going in and out. Then thoughts come again, you get lost. That's okay. It's not about being perfectly silent. It's just about accepting those. It's just about like training your mind to be more in the present moment, to just observe the thoughts, just observe the breath. Sorry, you're literally like, see, your breath is connected to your subconscious, and thereby it's also connected to infinite potential. So your breath, and you're not regulating your breath, you're not changing your breath, you're just witnessing a natural breath rhythm. This brings your system into harmony. This brings you back into the present moment. And you will notice as you meditate regularly a sense of greater presence, of just being more in the moment and not so much in your head, right? You're just like there. I'm here now. I'm not in the past. I'm not in the future. Because anxiety is just being in the future, man. So what's this gonna happen? This, blah, blah, blah. And depression is kind of like sadness, like, oh shit, the past. Or even like, I have another whole other perspective on this as well, but like, I think sometimes, and this is part of it, like depression and anxiety is a sign that we're not living the life we were meant to live. You know, I feel like we all have infinite power, and this is all a manifestation thing as well. But if we're not living the life we wish, then we will not feel great, you know, because we know somewhere that we can do more, we can be more, we can have more, whatever, you know. And so, like manifestation, you want to do this meditation, breathing, focus on your breath going in and out for 5-10 minutes, work up to 10 minutes eventually. If it's sometimes less than 10 minutes, you can have like a stopwatch, like a Casio or something, and then you just occasionally check, like open your eye or something, look at the time, and then continue meditation. And then, as you're still meditating, after a few minutes, you enter visualization. This is where you see your subconscious mind and conscious mind. You want to kind of like reduce the barrier between them. You want to get into that chilled state of awareness where what you visualize is impressed upon your subconscious mind. Okay, so then once you're in that somewhat chilled state, and if you have anxiety, you can't get into a chill state, doesn't matter, just still do this process. Eventually it will help you. And then you just do that, and then you visualize, and you imagine yourself living the life you want. Maybe it doesn't have to be like you're suddenly a billionaire, whatever it is, or you suddenly have this crazy life. It can just be like something small, like let's say for anxiety, you're not leaving the house, or you just have social anxiety. So you visualize yourself doing those things, being in the social situation, meeting up with a friend, having a good time, laughing, just vibing, you know. You visualize the positive outcome you wish to have in your life. And as you do that every day, and you should reserve judgment for 21 days, meaning that don't analyze the short-term results. I recently had a call with someone, and they said, I've been implementing anxiety and all this stuff, facing fear, but I don't feel any different. And I asked him, how long have you been doing this? He was like, I think it's been a while that I spoke to him, but he was like, yeah, just a couple of weeks or something. I'm like, bro, you know, it took literally years for anxiety to form. So how can you expect, like, just from taking some action after a week or two for it to go away completely? That's just unrealistic. Like, that can happen, okay? You should always be open towards it, that this could be the last time you feel this anxiety disorder. Sure, that should be our mindset, a positive mental attitude that we should cultivate with these things I'm describing. But like when the anxiety comes there, don't micro-analyze it. Don't be like, when is it going away? It's been there for I have a setback. No, just like live these principles and then let go of the outcome. Don't look into the results in the short term, like when you start doing these personal development practices. Just be a bit patient and implement them and trust that they will transform your life because they are proven, like meditation, visualization. Many athletes and successful people have used these principles to manifest that which they desire. So trust in the process and take action, implement it. And once you do this, you will begin to notice changes over time. But wait some time, be patient, don't expect immediate results. Especially with anxiety, anxiety is a strong condition. It's very overwhelming. And so it can be difficult to deal with that. And it's like, it can take some time. You know, it took maybe years for anxiety to come, so it could take you a couple months, maybe it take you even a year or a bit longer. That's so much better than like having it for the rest of your life and potentially suffering for decades like people I've spoken to. And even if you're one of those people, it doesn't matter. You can start doing this now and change your life. And the past is the past. It doesn't matter because the only thing that exists is the present moment. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Ages, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. If you want coaching, there's a link somewhere below to book a free discovery call. We can have a chat to see if I can help you on this journey. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.